The Minnesota Chamber of Commerce held the 20th annual Business Day at the Capitol. The purpose of this event is to help strengthen the business environment to improve the lives of all Minnesotans. Michelle Jacobs, who is the president of the Hastings Chamber of Commerce, was in attendance. In an email to me, she said that this event is a great opportunity for business people to get more involved in the legislative process. It is also important for legislators to hear from business leaders to get a better understanding of the day-to-day challenges that businesses face and how their vote on issues can impact the business, either positively or negatively. The common theme of the day seemed to be that business people in Minnesota think it's important that our state becomes more business-friendly. Scott Wine, who is chairman and CEO of Polaris Industries, gave the business keynote address.
I'm not asking for the state of Minnesota from a business climate perspective to be ridiculously competitive, but how just about being in the middle of the pack? How just being right there in the middle, not trying to be best, but we certainly don't need to be at 45 going towards 50.
Wine argued that Governor Dayton's tax and spend policies are not good for business, force some of them to move out of the state, do not correlate to better education, and overall are bad for our state.
We don't think accelerating spending is the right answer. I do believe that if we can work with the legislator, work with the governor, create policies that will allow the state to grow faster, allow our companies to grow faster, we will be better off.
Governor Dayton acknowledged that many people in the room do not approve of his policies and that he has picked up an anti-business reputation. However, he argues that his policies are what's best for Minnesota as a whole.
In their view, Minnesota is a bad place in which to do business, and I threaten to make it worse. I believe the facts show that Minnesota's balanced approach to taxes and spending and investments in education have made it one of the best places in the country, in the world in fact, to live, raise a family, and run a successful business.
Minnesota Chamber of Commerce President David Olson took issue with Dayton's claim that his policies are balanced.
We didn't see it as balanced. I mean, when you raise taxes $4 billion and you cut spending $167 million, one could argue that that's not balanced.
Dayton also took time to discuss some aspects of his new budget proposal, which focused mainly on attempting to raise revenue by adding a fourth tax bracket for the top 2% of wage earners. This bracket will tax individuals who make $150,000 or more and married couples making at least $250,000 at a rate of 9.85%. Dayton has decided to drop proposals originally outlined in his first plan, including increases in sales tax and business-to-business taxes.
In fact, I am proposing no state income tax increase for 98% of Minnesotans. I'm proposing no change in the items subject to the state sales tax. Unfortunately, that means I will not be able to lower either the sales or the corporate tax rates, or provide every homeowner with a $500 per year property tax rebate.
Some in attendance argued that this tax increase on the top 2% would hurt small businesses.
People seem to think that the 2%ers are the Warren Buffetts of the world. I think if you take our population times 2%, you're going to find that that's small business.
Olson agreed.
I think now the opportunity is to put the focus on the fourth tier, to talk about what Scott Wine did, to talk about what some of the people that stood up today, the impact that that tier has on small companies. It's not just about the wealthy. It's about these small companies that run their corporate income basically through their personal income. This has a huge impact on them.
Many times throughout the day, Dayton mentioned that it was important for these tax increases because it's time that the rich pay their fair share. I asked him if it would be fair if everyone paid the same percentage.
Well, if we had everybody pay the same percentage, which, flat tax, that would be a big improvement in Minnesota. The top 1% now pays 78% of what the middle income families pay. So if you had a flat tax, they paid 100%. I mean, that would be a huge improvement and less regressivity, and it doesn't make it progressive, but at least it makes it flat. We're so far away from that now, but I'd settle for that.
The current tax code may be regressive by Dayton's definition, but to be fair, it's important to point out that according to an article in the Star Tribune, the top 50% of earners already paid 96% of Minnesota's income taxes. When asked if the chamber would accept any tax increases, Olson said no.
Actually, at this point, no, because we think the reforms that the governor and the legislature the past 2 years are working. We've seen revenues increase, and we're going to work on that spending side of the equation.
In St. Paul, John Foss, Hastings 14 News.